Welcome to the Guide One Safety Training Program for 15-passenger van drivers. Soon, you will take on the responsibility of transporting church passengers safely from place to place. Driving others is a huge responsibility that can hold both legal and financial consequences if something were to go wrong. There have been many cases where drivers of large passenger vans have been held criminally and financially responsible for injuries and fatalities due to their negligence. The driver of the van is responsible to make sure that the seatbelt and child restraint laws are followed. They are also responsible to be sure that the van is operated in accordance with any applicable laws and in a reasonable manner for the conditions. So before you or anyone in your organization takes the wheel of a 15-passenger van, it is imperative that you know what to expect and how to best assure the drive will be safe and accident-free. 15-passenger vans are not cars. They don't look like cars and they don't handle like cars. This program will highlight those differences and what you need to do to operate a 15-passenger van safely. It is important to note that the number one negative impact of a 15-passenger van's design versus that of a car is the van's increased tendency to tip and roll over, resulting in accidents that can cause both injury and death. Take a look at this van that was rented by a church for a mission trip. This was a brand new van at the time of the accident. The driver was changing lanes when they realized they were cutting someone off. The driver overcorrected and eventually lost control of the van. The van flipped onto a guardrail and all of the passengers, who were all wearing seat belts, were injured. Tragically, a child was killed. By understanding a van's differences and how to adjust for them, you will be driving smarter and safer. As an added preventative measure, Guide One strongly suggests you do the following to increase safety while operating a 15-passenger van. Permanently remove the back seat. Permanently remove installed trailer hitches. And never use the rooftop carrier. The following information is intended to help you by reinforcing basic defensive driving techniques as well as teaching what skills and observances are necessary to safely operate a 15-passenger van. Every church and school that uses a 15-passenger van should have an effective vehicle maintenance policy. Before you ever drive the church van, you will need to do a vehicle inspection. Your thorough vehicle inspection will begin from the outside in. Outside inspection should include the following. Check the vehicle body condition for any damage. Bumpers, fenders, and trim must be in good condition and must not be loose or damaged. Check the headlights, directional signals, and emergency flashers for operation, as well as cracked or missing lenses. Under the hood inspections are best done on a cold engine. Open the hood and check the battery connections, and engine accessory drive belts. Check the engine oil, brake cylinder fluid level, power steering fluid level, engine coolant, and washer fluid levels. Look for any leaks or loose components under the hood. Look under the body of the vehicle next. Check for any signs of oil or fluid leaks. Also, look at the muffler and exhaust systems, checking for holes, missing support hangers, missing tailpipes, or other defects. You should also check the suspension system for loose or hanging components. And check the shock absorbers for oil leaks or worn insulator bushings. Tires play an important role in 15-passenger van safety, so be sure to pay specific attention to the van's tires and wheels. Maintain and use tires that are less than 5 years old and are rated Load Range E. Lighter tires are cheaper, but not adequate. Look for loose or missing lug nuts. Check for any oil residue on the inside or outside of the wheel. This type of oil leak could indicate a bad brake cylinder or axle seal. Now, check that the tires are properly inflated. For example, this van requires tire pressure of 80 psi rear and 55 psi front. According to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, 74% of all 15-passenger vans have at least one tire that is not properly inflated. Make sure the tires also have adequate tread depth, greater than 1/8 inch, and the tires have no visible signs of deterioration. And don't forget the spare. The spare should be in good condition and adequately inflated. Now move to the interior inspection of the van. Double check that all seats are securely in place and that all seat belts are easily available for passengers. Take care to check that all seats are properly locked in with their safety locking pins. Seats can appear secure even without the pins in place, but in a violent crash, seat latches can release, causing injury and, in some cases, death. To assure proper functioning of the airbag, the steering wheel should be adjusted toward your chest, not your forehead, to eliminate any injury should it be activated. Be sure you do not place items on the engine cover and check both seat and floor areas for anything that could fall, roll around, or interfere with your concentration while driving. Most 15-passenger vans have flat floors with no footwell, so objects can roll or slide from anywhere on the van floor and interfere with driver controls. At the end of every trip, you should do a thorough follow-up inspection, double-checking outside as you did before your trip, checking underneath the van, under the hood and all tires, and inside with a check of gauges, seats and seat belts, lights, and steering. Also, be sure to clean up any trash or other items from the floor. Drivers also should be absolutely aware that it is unlawful and unsafe under any conditions to drive a vehicle while under the influence of alcohol or drugs. Never, ever do it. There are several safety concerns you will need to remember when you are assisting passengers in boarding and departing the van. Always load forward seats first, leaving the back seats empty when fewer passengers are on board. This practice keeps more weight on the steering axle and improves handling characteristics of the van. Be sure to help any passenger needing special assistance and note if front seating may be required. Limit passengers to 10 people, including you, even though the van has seating for more. Never pull a trailer or load cargo on the van roof, which will make the van even more susceptible to rolling. Because of children's smaller size, airbags in forward seats can cause injury or death. Because of this, child restraint seats should never be placed in the front seat or last seats in the van. And since studies show that most child seats are improperly installed, we urge you to carefully read the vehicle owner's manual to ensure proper placement and usage. Before starting the van, double check that you and all of your passengers are securely buckled in and that all doors are securely shut and locked. Note that 87% of all those killed in one vehicle large passenger van accidents were not wearing seatbelts. Always have the van turned off, the parking brake set before you or anyone else exits the vehicle. As we stated earlier, a 15-passenger van is not like a car. It has different characteristics that demand that you use caution and adapt your driving skills accordingly. For instance, vans are higher, longer, and wider than passenger cars, and they are normally heavier than a car when fully loaded. Most importantly, vans have a higher center of gravity, which makes them much more susceptible to tipping or rolling over. The driver's seat of a van is also situated further out front, over the front wheels, which can affect turning, so you will need to both slow down and utilize a wider area when turning your van to allow for the longer wheelbase and driver position. Blind spots for vans are also different than for cars, so it is extremely important to be aware of your blind spots and adjust for them. To make your side blind spots as small as possible, adjust mirrors so that just a sliver of the side of the van is visible. Also, leaning forward in your seat improves your angle of vision, further reducing the size of your blind spots. Lastly, be sure to glance over your shoulder prior to any lane change. Because of a van's height and shape, things like wind can have a greater effect on steering, so you need to use caution and slow down whenever it is windy. Because 15-passenger vans are heavier, it will take you longer to accelerate and to slow down. It will also require longer brake times. Smart driving is safe driving, and one of the most critical aspects of smart driving is maintaining the buffer zones of safety. To maintain the buffer zones of safety, you need a safe distance between your van and the traffic around you. This allows you to stop when needed without risking a collision. What is the proper distance? It will be greater than it is for a car. And the distance is determined by three important factors. First, the perception distance is how far you travel between the time you notice a problem and you actually decide to brake. The reaction distance is how far you travel between deciding to and actually hitting your brake. To give you an idea, a van going 55 miles per hour will travel 60 feet by the time you move your foot from the gas pedal to the brake pedal. Finally, braking distance is the actual distance your van travels before it comes to a stop after brakes are applied. Covering your brake at the first indication that there might be a reason to slow down can greatly reduce your stopping distance. The total amount of time that you should have between yourself and another vehicle is an average of 4 seconds under ideal conditions. When conditions are poor, in rain, snow, fog, or on gravel roads, for instance, you will need to allow for more time to react and therefore more distance between your van and other cars. Not only is it important to keep a safe distance from the car or truck in front of you, but also with the one behind you. If a vehicle is tailgating, slow down to encourage it to drop back or pass. Also, be watchful of vehicles in the lanes next to your van. Scan the side and rear view mirrors every 4 seconds to continuously keep track of where traffic is. Because of blind spots, try not to drive alongside another vehicle for any extended length of time. Not only does it inhibit your view, but your van could be in the other vehicle's blind spot. Always scan the road ahead and to the side of you as you drive, and be aware of intersecting roads or any possible hazards ahead. In summary, remember to consider these rules of 4 at all times while driving. 4-second following distance. Scan mirrors every 4 seconds. 4 buffer zones of safety, front, back, side, and blind spots. Of all driving situations, those that cause the greatest number of van accidents are these: backing up, driving at night, driving in severe weather, driver fatigue, panic maneuvers, and wheels dropping off the road. As you can imagine, the van's size and shape make backing up more difficult than it is with a car. So it's important to remember to always double check not only what is behind you, but above you as well before you begin backing up. Check the side mirrors and keep checking them as you slowly begin moving backwards. If at all possible, do not back into traffic. It is better to back from a street into a driveway or parking space and then pull out into traffic. Having a person assist you with backing up could help. Just make sure that that person stands to the side, not directly behind the van, and is always visible in your mirror. When driving at night, your vision is more limited, so you need to take extra caution and use the high beams when possible. Also, be on the lookout for any drivers who appear to be swerving or acting recklessly. The greatest incidents of alcohol-related collisions occur between 8 p.m. and 8 a.m. If possible, try not to drive during severe weather conditions. If you do need to be on the road in bad weather, you will need to drive slower and allow even more distance between vehicles. During rainy conditions, be extra cautious because vans are especially susceptible to hydroplaning. This happens when water builds up underneath tires, causing them to lift off the road, which inhibits steering and braking. Slow down. If you feel the van begin to slip or slide, take your foot off the accelerator immediately. Do not make any sudden stops or quick turns because it may cause you to skid. To prevent driver fatigue, make sure there are enough qualified drivers for long trips. Also, additional adult supervision for children can help the driver concentrate just on the task of driving. Be sure to get an adequate amount of rest the night before to prevent impaired reactions. Also, schedule stops along the way and make sure to take them to help you stay refreshed. Avoid any sudden panic maneuvers such as slamming on the brakes or jerking the wheel. Skidding tires have zero traction, thus making it that much harder for you to stop. Also, overcorrecting your steering as a reaction to an emergency can cause the 15-passenger van to roll over due to the van's high center of gravity. If one of the van's wheels drops off the road, be sure to keep the wheels straight. Without severe braking, slow the van down. Wait until the van is almost stopped before slowly returning to the roadway. Your passengers will be putting their safety and comfort in your hands. So remember what you have just learned and apply it whenever you get behind the wheel of a 15-passenger van. Be prepared, and you can make sure that every trip will be an enjoyable and safe one. Thank you for taking this important step towards being a better driver.